All right, guys, how's everybody doing today? Welcome back to the channel. I wanted to do a little bit different video this time. This is a recap on my last 6 months in the Drip network. The good, the bad, the ugly, how I feel about it. Just a really solid data-driven analysis of whether Drip was a good investment or not for me. As you guys know, I'm not a super moon boy. I don't like to come on here and talk about my feelings a lot. I like to relate all my videos and analysis back to the data, right? What's the data showing us? So here is my honest 6-month review of Drip Network. If you're new to the channel and new to Drip, let me explain it for you. Drip Network is its own token. The faucet is a decentralized application. It's a daily ROI protocol and it pays you out 1% per day on whatever your deposited tokens are. So if you buy 100 tokens today, you will be receiving 1 token per day. You have the option to either take that out of your available, right? If you have 100 tokens here, 1 token shows up here per day. You can either take that out, claim it, and cash out the funds, or you have the option to roll that back in, compound it, or what we call hydrate, back into the deposits balance. Ideally, that's what you want to do with this investment, and that's what I've done pretty much the whole time. I have done very little claims. The only times I've claimed were for airdrops. There might have been 1 or 2 in there where I claimed for a little bit of gas fees, but my behavior has been hydrate, right? I want to try to recompound this and grow the total balance. So I got into this investment on December 12th, 2021. So since we're right at about 6 months in, let's break down what's happened over the last 6 months. So just some pros and cons, real quick pros and cons. A huge pro is this thing's been around for 14, maybe almost 15 months now, and it has never paused, gone down, no 404 errors. This thing's been rock solid. Price, of course, is all over the place, just like anything else in the crypto market. But as far as the protocol and smart contracts working like they're supposed to, where I'm getting paid 1% per day, it's worked every single day without failure, absolutely no issues. So that's a huge pro. If you guys have been playing at all in the DeFi world, you know that that is not common, that there's constant rug pulls or vulnerabilities in the system. Those get exploited, capital gets lost. There's a lot of issues that can happen. So of course, since this thing's been running smoothly, that's a major perk and a major pro. The downsides, the cons, are the price action. The price has gone down considerably since I got in, which is pretty much like everything else in crypto, but I'll show you how the math works out and you can let me know whether you think it's really positive or negative. And another major con would be there's a lot of new developments that are adding additional utility to the Drip network, and those have been very delayed in coming out. So each time those get delayed, it affects the price, obviously, and investors lose a little bit of confidence in the project. So we've had a ton of little failure to launch incidents where things get delayed, partnerships get announced, but then get canceled. So that's one major con. It's been a little bit of a roller coaster ride from an emotional standpoint, but I'm pretty well versed in the investment world, so I'm fairly even keel. It doesn't bug me all that much. Many of those new updates, and I can probably reference a couple here in the rest of the video, but they're on the horizon, including getting the new user interface, which will be an updated, more refreshed, more financial investment looking website, which I think will be really helpful for bringing on new, bigger capital. A lot of people that are getting into the DeFi space are relatively young, so they like the gaming nature of some of these protocols. But let's be honest, the big money is with the older folks, right? For their age, they're on the cutting edge and they want to dump in $1 million, but they need to see a platform that speaks to them, from a financial standpoint. Because the gaming world, in their opinion, is kind of unprofessional, and I kind of agree with it. I'm not a big gamer. I'm not that guy. I like the professional feel, and when I'm talking to my friends and family about it, I'd like to go to a site that's super clean like that. So anyway, a couple pros and cons. Been a bit of a roller coaster. Let's dive into the data. All right, for the data, let's go back in time to a sunny day, December 12th, 2021. At that time, the prices of these assets, Bitcoin was $50,066, Ethereum was just over $4,000, BNB was $570, Cardano was $1.35, and Drip was $55. So I got in around the $55 mark. It was around 50, then it went up. I kind of dollar cost averaged in. I made several purchases down here over like the course of a week. I think within a couple of days, I had my first $5,000 in, and then I put the remainder in. I was taking them out of other yield farms and other miners and then dumping it in, so that money was basically coming gradually. So over the course of a couple weeks, I pretty much established the main portion of my position, which was pretty close to $10,000. So I dollar cost averaged in on the way up. I bought as high as probably 150, and then I dollar cost averaged all the way down. I bought as low as $8.70, something like that. So for the purposes of this exercise, I've just said my average price is $55. I don't know exactly what it is, but it's pretty close to that. So that'll do for this exercise. So my initial investment altogether, that I've spent with the DCA is about $12,000. And that could be give or take a few hundred, but that's again, close enough for this exercise. Now on December 12th, if I would have put $12,000 into Bitcoin, I would have got just under a quarter of a Bitcoin, Ethereum 2.94, BNB 21.05, Cardano, I would have got 88, which would have been cool. And then drip, I got about 218, right? I started out with lower, like I said, a dollar cost average. So the average price of 55 got me 218. Current price of Bitcoin, 22,000. Current price of Ethereum, 1,200. 215 for BNB, 48 cents for ADA, $10.15 for drip. It might actually be a little bit higher right now because prices are fluctuating. Let's check out the swap tab. Yeah, 1045. So it's a little bit higher, but we're still pretty close here. I had it at 1015. So with that same $12,000 investment today, I would have still ended up with the same 0.24 Bitcoins, 2.94 Ethereum, 21 BNB, and 88 Cardano. But with Drip Network, I'm now up to 1660. So I've seen a pretty significant increase in actual tokens that I have, but let's see if it made much of a difference. So on the P&L for the last 6 months, Bitcoin's down 56%, 71 for Ethereum, 62 for BNB, 64% for Cardano, and 82%. So the most significant loss as far as a P&L percentage number actually happened on Drip Network, right? Down 82% from where I purchased. In that 6 months though, I ended up with 1,441 additional tokens. Now from that initial $12,000, my investment in Bitcoin would be down to 5,200, 3,500 in ETH, 45 in BNB, 42 in Cardano, but 16,849 in Drip. So even though Drip dropped by 82%, I'm still net positive. I'm still up $4,800, which represents a 6-month ROI of 40%. And in a market that's seeing all red, including the asset that I invested in, 40% ROI is pretty awesome. Because as you can see, I'm down 56% in Bitcoin, 71% in ETH. So had I invested in those other assets and not put that 12 grand into Drip, I would have seen more than 50% loss on that capital. So with Drip going down that much, I still made money. And some people will say, the pessimists will say that I can't take that all out, right? I don't have access to this $17,000 right now. I would say that's true. I can only take out 1% per day, so I can take $173 a day out of this for a year. Optimists will say that's actually not the total value of your account. You're going to get 3.65 that, right? Because you're getting 365%. So let's do the math. 1,703.89 times 3.65. So the optimist will say your account value right now, which could be captured over the next year, is actually $63,469.85. Now I'm a realist, so I know that's not actually true either. In reality, I have already claimed some, so I'm not going to be able to claim that full amount or the full amount here out of my max payout. And this includes the taxes that I paid to put it in, but not the taxes that I will be charged to take it out. So realistically, the amount claimed compared to the max payout is about 18%. So we can multiply this by 0.82. That's the amount I could actually claim. And then we got to minus about 80% for the taxes, so times 0.8. So the real value of my account, assuming that I do no more compounding, that I don't add anything to it, that I don't have any more team members come on, and the price stays exactly the same, is really about $43,000, which is almost 4 times the initial investment I put in. So overall, the statistics on that are pretty good. Pretty happy with that total number. Obviously, I don't plan to sell this right now because I think the price is undervalued. So I'm going to wait for this to get a lot higher, and frankly, probably above 100 per token before I really sell any of this. Now, I know for sure some of you guys are saying, hey, but you've had a bunch of team members join and your referral rewards, that's the only reason that you've made money here. So let's do the math. Right now I have 1,660 tokens minus 391, so 1,269. Multiply that by the $10.30 it is right now, roughly speaking, 13,070 minus my initial investment of 12,000. I'm still net positive on this investment. Even though the total investment or the price has dropped by 82%, I have still made money on this. And this number isn't actually true, right? I've got referral rewards here, but what it doesn't show is all the airdrops I've done, right? I've received a total of 16.9 airdrops have come to me. I've kicked out almost 169. So you would want to remove those from my referral rewards, and then I would be way in the positive. So it's pretty clear from the data that compounding helps a ton. Because with any other investment, I would have been down, 50, 70, 80%. And the only way for me to make that back up is for the price to go back to where it originally was. But now that I have so many tokens in here and I keep compounding them daily, I put myself in a really good position to make a sizable profit here. So was Drip Network a good investment or a bad investment? Well, for me to make that decision, sometimes you have to look at the opportunity cost of others. And if we stay in the crypto world, I think it's clear that buying any of these assets would have been worse off. The opportunity cost lost for not being able to invest in these was non-existent, right? Now, there are other DeFi protocols that I probably could have put some of this money in and made some really good money. Most of which, however, haven't been around for that long, and 90% of DeFi projects rug or have some sort of exploit. So to invest in those other projects, the risk-reward ratio is super off in my opinion. So I feel fairly confident in that I took a moderate risk play like Drip Network and turned 12,000 into 17,000 in 6 months. Pretty solid. I will also say that I have 107 direct team members, 145 on the total team. The difference between maybe me and you, if you would have put in the same amount of money and not started a team, of course, I have the referral rewards, but I also spend a tremendous amount of time with my team members. So the first 30 that I brought on were actually like friends and family. So I spent multiple hours per person getting them set up. So that was a lot of time commitment on my behalf. And then the rest of these guys came from YouTube, right? Viewers like you who actually wanted to join the team. So as you know, it takes a bunch of time to film the content, edit it, get it up, provide all the details for them, Telegram groups, all that type of stuff. It's very time consuming, and for that you get some rewards from it. You don't need to build a team to make this investment profitable. The most important thing is time. Second most important thing is price action. And as we can tell, price action has gotten nailed, but the amount of time I've been in has helped me hydrate and recompound that balance into profitability. So was Drip Network a good investment after 6 months, considering what else I could have got into? I'd say for the amount of capital I was willing to deploy at that time, which was $12,000, this ended up being a fantastic investment. And the nice thing for a lot of people right now is this is just becoming more and more established, and some of these new use cases are about to come online. So for them, it's actually a little bit better time to get in, lower risk. Even when I got in at $55, the distance between 55 and 0 is of course bigger than the distance between 10 and 0. So the lower the price is, if you still believe in the project, the lower your risk is, if that makes sense. So after 6 months, I'm already making money, and when this price goes back up to say 100, I'll have 166,000 in there. So I'm very excited. I'm very excited for the things to come. If you want to join the team, my link will be below. We got a great Telegram group we just launched, and I think really the best is yet to come for Drip. On the horizon, you've got the new user interface that's going to go live. One major issue with Drip not getting the attention it needs is because the developer Forex Shark has been over building out the animal farm and fixing some issues over there. Once the animal farm is live, and it should be live in the next 2 weeks, the focus will go back to Drip Network, and in fact, that part of the ecosystem helps Drip and vice versa. So we should see positive price action just for that reason. Animal Farm getting done, the new UI. There's also something called Scratchy on the horizon. It's basically scratch off lotto tickets where you can win B&B up to like $1 million maybe. It operates just like a normal scratch off ticket you get at the gas station. You scratch it, there's of course big bonuses, small prizes. The unique thing about this though is if your ticket loses, you have the ability to stake that as an NFT in the system and earn some additional rewards. So it's not necessarily a losing ticket, you just may be delaying that gratification for a while by staking it in the system. That will tie up some of the supply, and that'll actually be a good thing. The other part of it is the BNB you buy that with, 20% of that is actually going to go to buy the tokens and put money into the tax vault. So it makes the project more sustainable. It's a really good model, and it's going to be able to be licensed out or white labeled for other platforms. So if a platform like PancakeSwap wants to have their own lotto tickets, we can white label it, sell it to them, so lease it to them, I guess. They will use it on their own platform for their own purposes, and we'll get a portion of that revenue. And in the long term, and this is the real game changer, we're going to come out with a lending protocol. And what this lending protocol is going to allow you to do is going to be peer-to-peer lending, or lending off of your own faucet. So if you for some reason need to access the money right here and the 1% you're getting per day isn't enough, you can take a loan out against your deposits, and that 1% per day would go to whoever gave you the loan. It would pay them back plus interest. Loans, as you know, at least in the United States, are tax-free. You're not taxed on debt. So that's a way to access your income, access your funds without incurring any capital gains tax. So that is super major. My price predictions. So right now, like I said, we're currently up over $10, $10.40. In the next couple weeks, the animal farm will be launched. Just that will help build confidence in the ecosystem. So I think the price will go up. We may see $20 drip at that point. Scratch off tickets will come out shortly after that, and I think we'll see a pump. We could see $40, $50 drip after that comes out. Now, I originally said that I thought we might see another all-time high this year. I'm unsure about that. I definitely think we'll see prices in the triple digits, right? We'll see more than $100 drip in this calendar year, but I'm not sure we'll reach an all-time high, and the only reason is because we're generally a little bit behind on our deadlines. So just what I've seen over the last year, everything's comes out a little bit slower. We're a couple months behind on almost everything, and that extrapolates over time to put us a little bit behind the 8 ball. Not really overly concerning, because I do think this thing will grow steady, and steady growth is just fine in the crypto markets, and particularly in the DeFi space. And that peer-to-peer lending is supposed to be out by the end of the year, but I probably don't expect it until the end of Q1 of next year, just based on how everything's going. So if that's the case, I'm not sure that we'll see another all-time high this year, but I think we'll be over 100 by the end of the year. And I think in 2023, we'll see a big time all-time high. We could even see 4-figure drip in 2023. Now, none of this is financial advice. These are just my predictions, right? You got to do your own research. But if it was myself and I was looking at this and the price and the outlook and the roadmap that's about to roll out over the next couple months, I'd be thinking drip looks like a really good opportunity. Because as long as it can hang on, you're going to get rich. You saw it. 82% down, still ended up with a 40% ROI. Of course, you can make your own decision here, but the purpose of this video was for me to figure out whether drip was a good investment or a bad investment, if putting my capital here was really a good idea or not, having it locked up for this period of time, was it beneficial for me and my investment portfolio? And I'd say that this chart tells it all. 40% increase, everything else took a loss. So do I recommend drip? The answer is yes. And the reason is right here in green. Happy investing.